Oh, happy Wednesday. Today is May 4th, and we have so much to do today for Number Corner. So let's dive right in. First thing we're going to do is look at today's calendar marker and become a little more acquainted with the observation recording sheet that I told you yesterday we weren't going to worry about. So here's what today looks like. Is that what you predicted? Yeah, because we had some flips or some reflections going on, and so it's exactly what I predicted. And over here you see that we already have it filled out, so we're not going to really dive deep into it today. And hopefully you agree that it's a right triangle. We made those observations when we first saw it. But what I did want to mention and touch on today is the fact that we wrote reflective for the symmetry. So just like I showed you my triangle here, and I would flip it across an axis, imaginary line, if you will. It's reflective, and so that's why it's reflective symmetry, because you could fold this one on top of this one, and it would match perfectly. And we know that because these shapes are congruent. The next thing I want to do very quickly is just refresh your memory of what our day, I can't even remember what day this is. I think this is our day 3 picture. Yes, so I want to refresh your memory about what our day 3 picture looked like. That way we can look at our day 4. So here's our day 3. We estimated it to be about 195 milliliters. And now here's our day 4. So we can clearly see that there's less water today than there was yesterday. So we might say maybe it decreased another 5 milliliters. But again, that's not our focus for today. I just wanted you to see it. And when we focus specifically on calendar collector, we'll dive deeper into the reasonings behind some of these estimations that Ms. Trammell is verbalizing to you today. But what we are going to spend majority of our time doing is playing a game. And this game is called Decimal Draw. Before we do, I want you to take a look at this number line. Pause this video if you need to. And tell me what you observe. What do you notice? What do you see? Yeah, the number line goes from 0 to 1. And there's some numbers in between. They look kind of big, but there's a decimal there. So they're decimal numbers, which means all these numbers are smaller than 1. And you may now also notice there is this image here, because that's representing what we used to know back in the day as a hundreds block is now going to be our one whole. Okay? And it looks like we're going in increments of tenths. Right? So in this game, we are going to, I'm going to draw a card, you're going to draw a card. We're going to label where that number is on the number line in both decimal form and in fractional form. That's going to help us review our standard of being able to write a fraction that has a denominator of 10 as a fraction with a denominator of 100, and to be able to equate that to a decimal. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take 4 turns each, and then we're going to add up our total to see who has the biggest number, and whoever does wins. So are you ready? Now, since I want to show you how this game is going to go, I am going to pick first so that you see what you need to do when we pick your card. So, let me pick. Ooh. I'll tell you, there'll be some different types of cards too. It just so happens that this is a model on the card, and I have to figure out how many is represented here. So it looks like I have 10, 20, 30, 39 hundredths, or I could say 3 tens, 3 tenths, and 9 hundredths. So if I'm looking at my number line here, let me scroll over maybe. I'm going to zoom in some more. And I'm just going to make myself smaller for this. If I have 39 hundredths, I know that 39 hundredths is really close to 40 hundredths or 4/10. Let me go back so you guys can see that. If I filled in one more hundredth, I would be at 40, but I'm not at 40. So I'm going to draw my line about really close, as close as I possibly can get it. And I'm going to write my decimal here, which is 49, not 49, 39 hundredths. And I'm also going to write it as a fraction. 39 over 100. Do you get it? Awesome. So now I'm going to pick for you guys. And I want you guys, you actually have this in your number corner journal. So you can open it up, flip to the page so that you guys can keep track of the numbers that we're pulling for you in your book. So let's pick. Ooh, you got a model card too. Your number is bigger than my number. Do you know what it is? Yeah, you have 7/10. And I am going to go ahead and write yours for this one on here because I like the fact that you got 7/10, because this actually shows 70 hundredths. And I want you to know that 70 hundredths is the same thing as 7/10. So if I were to go and count each one of these, I would count 70 of them. Or I could count 7 of these 10s. Do y'all see? So 70 hundredths is equivalent to 7/10. So that's yours. And remember, we pick 4 times. So my turn. So I have 1/4. This time I actually got a fraction that I have to convert. Now, I know 1/4. I know quarters. 1/4 is like 25 cents. 25 cents out of $1 is 25 hundredths. So if I were to label that on this number line, it'd be right smack dab in the middle of, and I'm going to change the color. It will be in the middle of 20 hundredths and 30 hundredths, but I also need to write it as a fraction. So here it is. So that's my second round, and I probably should keep track of what I have down here. So, or maybe even better yet, let me do it like this. Here was one of my cards, here was your card, here was my card. Let's pick for you. Here's your card. You get another model, and you gotta count and figure out how much that is. So I want you to pause this video so you can do that. I hope you got 46 hundredths. If not, it was 46, 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 46. All right, let me pick again. Get another fraction card, but this time it has a denominator of 100, which makes it really easy for me to put it in decimal form. I know it's less than 20. It's close to 20 hundredths, so maybe it's about right here. And I'll go ahead and fill it in. I'm gonna type it in this time, because we all know what Miss Trammell's handwriting looks like when she's trying to write it using the pen tool. Alright, so here's mine. Alright, now we're picking for you guys again. Ooh, you guys got a half. Pause this video, work it out. Alright, I hope you've had an opportunity. Here's my 4th and final card. I can already tell you who's won this round just by looking at my numbers. I got 1/10. And I can look at this card here and I see what 1/10 looks like. I'm going to go ahead and 1/10 is already there because it is equivalent to 10 hundredths. Remember how let's see, move this out the way. Remember how I said you can count these individual pieces right here? So I had 1/10, which is 10 hundredths, or I can connect the dots and make a 10. Okay, so my fraction, I'm going to put 10 over 100 just so that you can see that it is the same thing as 1/10. And now for your final draw. Ooh, you guys are rocking it today. You got 41 over 100. Again, pause this video and work it out. Alright, I hope you've paused the video and you have participated because you guys are responsible for your learning. You see, I have labeled it here for you so you can check your work. 41 hundredths is more than 40 hundredths, and here's how I would write that as a fraction, which it was already given to me, luckily. Now, here's the last piece of this game. You gotta add up your total to figure out who has the biggest number. So, that means, here's what mine would look like. I have 1/4, which we know, think about quarters, 25 cents of a dollar. So it is 25 hundredths, plus I had 18 hundredths, plus I had 10 hundredths. Do y'all remember that I wrote that as a fraction over 100 so you could see? And then I also had 39 hundredths. So now I have to do that math and figure out what is my total. So I'm going to redo this, but I'm going to put the numbers, I'm going to stack them so that I can do the addition. Alright, so here's my number stacked. And I did pause the video so I could do that really quickly. Now I'm going to do some addition. I have 9 hundredths, 8 hundredths, and 5 hundredths. So here's how I'm thinking about that. I know I have a 5 within that 8, so that's 10, right? That leaves me 3 more of the 8. And 9 and 1 is another 10, so that's 22. That means I have 2 tenths and then 2 hundredths for 22. And then I add 2, 4, here's 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 92 hundredths. Now you guys should pause this video so you can figure out your total. And I'm gonna do the same. Right, so just for you to check your addition, we got 7 hundredths here. We have 7, 5, 4, and 4 for the tenths place. So I have 8 and 7, I know is 15, and that is 20. You guys probably could tell that you won without even doing the addition, and you did. But that is how we play the game Decimal Draw. And this is a game that we will play a few times this month as a way to review decimals as numbers, converting fractions to decimals, and locating numbers on a number line. So, thanks for joining me today. You know I'm really sad that I didn't win. You know I like to win, very competitive, but that's okay because I got you next time. So, stay tuned. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.